Republicans, let's talk about everyone's favorite Republican who's in the news, Anthony Devolder, if that is his real name. So here's a video that surfaced a couple of days ago of a Republican club in New York introducing so-called George Santos, new representative, as Anthony Devolder.
Folks, another important speaker, another congressional nominee, George Santos. George, who we know is a friend, and he's known as Anthony Devolder to me. So I don't know where George Santos came into the thing, but that's what it says here. He's the Republican candidate for the New York 3rd Congressional District, running against Pelosi puppet Representative Tom Suozzi, who is facing some radical left-wing Democrats in a primary. George worked at Goldman Sachs.
So anyway, he's now reading off the resume just full of lies. This is 3 years ago now. Yo, I'm serious, man. This is some funny ass shit. But there's more. So I have this article here from Mother Jones. In Brazilian media, even more reports of George Santos's lies. So what's going on here? We notice you have an ad blocker on. Yeah, not now, buddy. Get the fuck out. All right. In 2008, Bruno Simoes was working as a clerk at a store called The Salt in Niterói, a city that neighbors Rio de Janeiro. One day, a 20-year-old George Santos, this should be in quotes, man. Like, I'm serious. Like, can we get to the point where all the media is just calling George Santos in quotes? Or like, George, quote, Anthony Devolder, unquote, Santos. Like, you know, like that's his nickname or whatever. Anthony, quote, George Santos Devolder. Like, come on now. Like, we got to get to that point where, like, that, like, come on. Like, I'm advocating for that. In fact, I'm going to put that in my title for this. That's going to be in the title of this video. Anyway. Simoes watched as Santos picked out several pieces of clothing and shoes. His total added up to $1,313. A lot of money at the time, Simoes told me. Enough that Santos used 2 checks to pay for his purchase. The clerk grew suspicious. Later, when Simoes tried to verify the address listed on the checks, it didn't match the name. Now, this is 2008. This guy has been like a serial scam and con artist for like 15 fucking years, man. Like, oh boy. Oh boy. The clerk grew suspicious later when said blah blah blah. A couple of days after, another man came into the store to exchange a gift from his boyfriend. A pair of sneakers Simoes recognized as the ones Santos bought. That's when Simoes realized he had been scammed. It was a gut feeling, Simoes said. He was too nice to be true. He was friendly and smiling, Simoes said of Santos, like every embezzler. The son of Brazilian immigrants, Santos is now famous for his lies. Last November, he was elected as a Republican representative for New York. But soon after, the New York Times published an expose revealing the newcomer essentially manufactured his resume and biography, lying about attending an elite private school, working on Wall Street, and having lost employees at Orlando's Pulse nightclub shooting. He is also not Jewish, only Jew-ish. Santos is facing calls to resign from voters and from Long Island Republicans, but has so far refused. Man, this is good. Simoes hadn't given Santos another thought until a few weeks ago when a Brazilian reporter reached out to get a reaction after the publication of the New York Times expose revealed the Queens-born GOP newcomer had embellished or fabricated most of his curriculum and biography. It seemed to me, quote, it seemed to me like a joke that he would be an elected congressman. Yeah, it is a joke. But that's America. America's a fucking joke. America is a shitty fucking hellhole, and its voters are the dumbest suckers in the world. American voters are some of the dumbest pieces of fucking shit that have ever walked the face of this fucking earth throughout all of human history. Let's keep going. Simoes said, adding he was less surprised about the fact that Santos was a Republican candidate. He was visibly deceitful, end quote. As it turns out, Santos that day with Simoes had used a checkbook belonging to a former patient of his mother, Fatima Alzira Caruso Horta Devolder. Now, interesting last name, by the way. Very interesting last name, Devolder. Who worked as a caregiver. The elderly man, Delio de da Câmara da Costa Alemão, I'm sorry, I don't speak Portuguese, was already deceased at the time. Simoes was then able to find a profile of Santos on the now defunct social network, Orkut. And after exchanging messages with the congressman, Santos acknowledged having messed up and vowed to pay the money back. Yeah, I wonder what inflation would be on $1,000 from 2008. Like, that's going to be a lot more money now. When that never happened, Simoes went to the police station. In a statement given to the police in 2010, Santos's mother said her son had used 4 checks that had been stolen from her purse. Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Now, hold the phone, everybody. In a statement given to police in 2010, Santos's mother. Now, according to Mr. Santos, his mother died in the 9/11 terror attacks. So how the fuck, like, is this ghost speaking to the police in 2010? That bitch died on 9/11/2001, my friends. Like, either this bitch is like Jesus and came back again as a zombie, or there's something fishy going on with this Santos guy. Santos's mother said her son had used blah, blah, blah. I wish him good luck because he will need it. Blah, blah, blah. All right. On Sunday, a popular Brazilian late-night TV show called Fantástico aired a segment with new findings about Santos. The congressman reportedly used different names and nationalities, like Russian, on dating app profiles. Yeah, this guy looks Russian for sure. He used variations of his name too, including George Devolder, Anthony Devolder, and Anthony Zabrowski. Whoa, 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 whoa. As someone who has a last name that ends with ski, I am extremely offended. I am extremely offended that this guy would LARP. This is cultural appropriation of my Polish ancestors. This is fucked up. Those motherfuckers died, not for this guy to be stealing our heritage. For shame. The Brazilian TV show reported that Santos splurged while living in Niterói in 2008 with his mother, who passed away in 2016. Now, this is a typo, of course, because as we know, his mother actually died on 9/11, so this is a typo. They meant to say 2001. Not to be confused with the Space Odyssey. In an interview, a woman called Adriana Damasceno claimed to have met Santos at a bingo parlor. Damasceno said they became friends and that during a trip to the United States in 2011, he went shopping under her name, withdrew all the money she had in the bank, and even pawned jewelry. When asked about whether she had reported anything to authorities, Damasceno said Santos bragged about having dual citizenship and that she felt powerless to come forward. This guy is so fucking funny, man. This is the funniest shit in the world. And Republican voters love it. Why? Because Republican voters are stupid. But not just Republican voters, Democrat voters too. And independent voters. American voters are fucking dumb as shit. Americans are fucking dumb as shit. They have no critical thinking skills, and they don't care about anything. All they care about is what color is on the guy's jacket. Is it red or is it blue? That guy got a red jacket, I'm gonna vote for him. That's all Americans care about, because they're fucking dumb. So anyway, this story is great. So we don't really even know what his name is. What is his name? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Is it Anthony Devolder? George Devolder? George Zabrowski? Or whatever the fuck? What's this guy's name? There was this clip during the House speakership bullshit when the roll call person was saying George Santos out loud, and George Santos wasn't responding to the name. And to me, that's the smoking gun. From that moment, I knew that George Santos was not his actual name. He is sitting there playing on his phone. George Santos. George Santos. George Santos? And then someone had to tap him on the shoulder. Right, so I don't know, man. But again, you want to talk about the dumbest motherfuckers who've ever lived in all of human history? Republicans. My God. Now again, Democrats, especially in New York, I mean, my God, New York Democrats, they're not that much better. But Republicans, fuck, man. That's the thing, is that Democrats get dumber and dumber and dumber and worse and worse and worse over time. But then Republicans are magnetically, they have to be dumber. So when Democrats get dumber, Republicans are like, oh yeah? Well, we're going to get even dumber. And then it's just they're both flushing each other down the toilet constantly and circling the drain of IQ. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, but this is our politics. We have to deal with these freaks. We have to deal with the American voting population being the dumbest group of fucking Neanderthals we've ever seen in our entire fucking lives. I don't know, man. Welcome to the Freak Show.